Hello, everybody, and welcome to AI Rising, our weekly podcast where we look at cool, new, exciting trends in the world of AI. I am here today with my guest, Kristi Perdue, who is CEO of Alterbridge Strategies, as well as a certified chief AI officer, and excited to hear more about her. Kristi, you want to kick us off and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I am, as you said, certified chief AI officer. I've been, I don't know, probably about a year now. And I am focused on helping organizations really understand what AI is first and foremost, what it's capable of, what it's not capable of. So they're not just throwing AI at everything and hoping for some magic. And really helping leadership teams understand the power that they have in their hands, even just with Gen AI. It's capable of a lot more than just creating some content and some email posts and LinkedIn posts that a lot of people are using it for today. And working with them to align the leadership team on an AI strategy, working to make sure that we understand the impact it will have to their organization, the impact that it would have to training, and really making sure that we have a full roadmap of how they're going to solve problems, not just throwing it out there again, just really have a plan of attack. And that's what I do.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's exciting to be on the cutting edge and spend all day working with the latest and greatest, newest fun things. What are you seeing, not just for the average and slow and behind the curve folks, but for the innovators and early adopters, organization wise? How is AI changing their world today?
I work with a lot of companies right now, um, but what's more impressive are the ones that I'm hearing about because I have access to a lot of my chief AI officer network, and I hear about companies from across the globe. And I'm hearing everything from 143% increase in efficiency in law offices and how they are using it for document reviews to 60% increases in productivity for use of even of AI agents already, but 60% increases in how they're using even AI agents for how they're getting workflows using AI for their document production processes and what they're doing in hospitals and healthcare, what they're also doing in fraud detection in financial services. It's amazing stuff.
So tell me, how do you see AI impacting the business world in the coming couple, 2, 3 year time frame?
It's interesting because you have a lot of projections for AI is game changing and it's going to be so different in the next year or two. And I agree with some of that. What's interesting is the human dynamic and reality. Businesses have struggled in some aspects with their data for years,
Sure.
with governance and compliance for years. There's some that are the pristine that have everything under control.
I
But the reality is that when you start looking at AI and what you need to do in order for you to really leverage that is that you do have to get your data under control and governed correctly. And that you do have to consider all of the governance concerns
Mhm.
to really start in mass rolling out big AI initiatives. But then there's also one other thing. Your people, your staff, your employees, they need to know how to use AI to really leverage it. And that's when one place where they need to want to, frankly.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And there's a lot of skill gap with AI, other than just using it, but technologists knowing how to use it, how to integrate it, what to do with it. So there's a lot to happen. And certainly, most organizations are realizing this, and most are starting to get people trained. But sending one person to a training course or sending them online isn't going to cut it. So there's a real need to have a dedication towards starting to upskill people and upskill them continuously, because AI is changing daily, as we see in the news, but really dedicating sources to go learn and then come back and continue to train, or creating a program that is a constant education force within your own organization.
Talking about looking forward and what companies need to be doing, I believe you have a book coming out, Power
Yeah.
Move, the
Yes.
No BS Guide to Leading with AI. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to tell people in that book.
Yep. Number one, the title says the No BS Guide. I'm pretty direct, and I find that with most things that are this big, as far as an impact to your business, you have to shoot straight.
Hmm?
And that's my style anyway. I like a good mix with me and AI.
But how can
Um,
you pay a management consulting firm hundreds of thousands of dollars to come in and give me a PowerPoint presentation if I just get straight to the point?
it wastes time. Just either do it or don't, but it's going to end up the way that it's going to end up.
Yeah.
So you have a choice in front of you. But the book is all about what you need to implement AI and be successful. But it also outlines what I call power moves, that are the things that, if you do, will set you above everyone else in your ability to be successful. And an example of that is like what I just called out with upskilling and training. Sure, it's a requirement, and everybody will try to train their people. But those that create a continual training program, a dedicated training program that is constantly looping, that's a power move,
So talk.
because AI is not static, it's a dynamic thing. So that's going to set you above and beyond the competition, and it's going to keep you leveraging the best of AI and set you ahead.
So suppose I'm running a company and I know AI is here and I've embraced it. I'm all with you. It is a power move to get my staff and team trained up. How do I know it's good training? We've all been through bad trainings. We've all sat through things where we wish we hadn't wasted our time. How do I select a good training?
It's a great question. Number one, I would go to one of the organizations that are certifying chief AI officers or certifying experts, to look for what type of training that they also offer, to see if they do. They may be providing additional training, not just certifications.
Sure.
I would consult with someone that is a certified trainer or certified expert. A lot of people right now are calling themselves experts, but I would look at credentials. You can get a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of things like that. You can learn some basic things. You can also learn things that are not true or not quite good. It's a difficult thing. You can go to the tried and true, the Conceras, but to learn the more strategic maneuvers, the things like that, you're going to have to go to the organizations that certify the specialists to find either alumni from there to consult with or to see what training programs that they offer.
I love it. I mean,
At least right now, until it becomes more and more common and it just,
even so, I know, I'm an agilist. Early in my career, I spent a lot of time in the agile world, and there was a couple organizations that sprung up to certify Scrum Masters that had no relation to the co-creators of Scrum. They had no relation to Scrum in any form. And some of the materials, frankly, I looked at them and they were wrong. They were just flat out wrong. They were offering certifications. Is there an organization or two that you'd recommend to as a certifying body looking at, or how I find that this is actually a valid certifying body?
yeah, the organization that I got certified with is called chiefaiofficer.com. They are a group of training from, and your certification comes through an international association for chief AI officers. You have to go through a live program, which is very different than any of the others because it is constantly updating. And that is one of the reasons that I chose it. And any of the others are old material as soon as you start taking it. So that is one of the cues for me, is that this is constantly updating. It's training live. You have to do a capstone at the end, which is almost like a dissertation type of a thing at the end, in a panel to get your certification. They have a couple different programs, one that's 6 weeks and one that's 10, for different types of certifications. And then there's constant training. They do training almost every day of the week. Sometimes it's on Saturdays and Sundays as well. I'm a fellow there. I am also faculty where I continue to train and help others go through. But there is constant training because it's necessary to keep your certification up. They don't require it, but if you're going to be an expert and you're going to be someone that others rely on, it is necessary for you to continue to learn and continue to process that. When someone consults with you, they don't want to be that person.
And so, just for our viewers,
Rely on you.
what's the name of the group again?
chiefaiofficer.com.
Love it. Awesome. So, training obviously is a great place to begin. Totally agree with you there. Any recommendations on for the folks who have a day job and aren't trying to be AI experts? How often should we be taking trainings or learning or growing, or what's a good level to start with?
Right now, when everything is changing so fast, I would say the first thing you need to do is learn the basics. If you haven't, learn the basics, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Claude, whether it's Llama, Gemini, learn the basics around how to communicate with an LLM interface. Then I would worry about learning the rest. It's all about how you communicate with AI. Once you learn how to do that, then you need to learn how to really communicate with it and really leverage it, which is one of the things that I specialize in, is all the strategic techniques to really extract the game-changing ways and game-changing results that you can get out of these LLMs.
I love it. So, what's another power move you would recommend?
Another power move is forming a strategic mindset around AI. AI is a tool, yes, but it is a totally different way of doing business. You have to start thinking differently. It's hard. It's very hard. I've been doing this for, yeah, I've been in AI for years, but even with Gen AI, I still have to stop and think, could AI help me with this process? Sometimes the answer is no, frankly. But Then the question is how? How to approach business, frankly, because you're you have to form a different way of looking at your business as well.
Sure.
Because how you might have treated one side of your business, marketing, customer service, sales, might look completely different once you look at how to incorporate Gen AI. Human in the loop, I'm all for that. I'm not saying that, hey, let's look and see how we can get rid of people. I'm not advocating that. But how you loop in AI and then let people really start using their critical thinking and doing other things that takes it up a next level. Let's start thinking about that next level. What can we do that would make this business grow in different ways? That's what Gen AI gives us. That's what AI gives you.
Can you talk to a specific example? How does a company bring it up to the next level and get better with AI that you've seen?
Oh. Marketing's a perfect example. Marketers spend a lot of time writing, thinking about the message and how to put things together. And these are basic things that Gen AI can help with. But they also spend a lot of time of trying to create the right connections of how to put together a campaign. Takes weeks, sometimes a lot longer.
Yeah,
AI can do that in a minute if given the right information.
that's amazing.
Where the marketing team can now start thinking about, okay, what can I do to up level this? What can I do for personalization? I can help with those things too.
Right.
But the marketing team can now start being a lot more critical and thinking about messaging. They can think more about how to attack different things. It allows for more creativity. It allows for a lot of the other things to happen that you never had time for as a marketer. And I can speak to that as a former CMO because
Right.
you're always in the minutia of figuring out which email went where and how to time things. The greatest thing is that AI can really help with understanding your customers, which you never had time to research. So it's even not that that helps you get out of something, but it gives you things that you didn't or that you were struggling to get because it can help you understand where you didn't have those information points before, or you've had them, but you didn't know how to extract them. Done in minutes, where you might have spent hours and days researching and still never understanding how to distill it.
Awesome. Final final question. What would your advice be to someone who's a business leader today looking at the onslaught of AI and all the changes that are coming up? What would be your one piece of advice to go off with today?
One piece of advice, if I had just one, is that's hard because I want to make it two. But one
All
piece
right,
of
what would be
advice
your
I would
final two pieces of advice? We'll give
final
them.
two. Okay. Final two. That. Thank you. First is I would start training your people, getting them trained on how to use AI. That is going to be huge. Understanding how to communicate with AI impacts everything and anything that could be happening, whether it's Copilot, whether you use Gen AI, whether it's an AI that's embedded in another application that comes, understanding how to communicate and leverage because the LLMs will be embedded underneath somehow. understanding that at least for the next 5 years, those are going to be embedded, they'll be implemented in your company in some way, going to be very important, hugely important for in order for you to get out of AI what you want.
Love it.
The other recommendation is from a leadership standpoint. Learn yourself how to communicate strategically with AI. And to do that, you need to come to someone like myself or another chief AI officer or somebody that's been trained to really understand what that means, because that will make a world of difference in understanding the techniques that go into communicating with an LLM that most don't know.
Great advice. So your book comes out, you said here in April,
Sometime in April, it'll be out. Yep.
and where can folks pick it up?
It'll be on Amazon, eventually on Audible. I think maybe the month at sometime in May, and hopefully in the airport bookstores.
I love it. Audible's the best way for me to list a book. So
Yeah.
thank you, Kristi, for your time today. Thanks for all the insights, and pick up her book here next month, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, thank you so much.